All right, so when your battery has a BMS, the question is, do you need a solar charge controller when charging with solar? Now, I understand there's a downside to charging using your solar panels this way, and it's just regarding efficiency, and I'll share with you a little more about that at the end. So, my 3 panels that I have sitting on top of this cart, they are all series connected. So they're not in parallel, they're all in series. So I got the main looks like positive coming out this side going down to the cart, and I got the main negative coming out and going down to the cart. So the positive side we just got hooked right into the battery. The negative side it just comes back, hooks to the motor, which goes through the BMS and back. So we got panels, our panels, one panel here is, if you can see it, 67 volts open circuit, 57 under load. So I just have these 3 panels plugged in straight in here with no solar charge controller, and what happens is the voltage on all of these panels dips all the way down to the voltage on the battery, and it pushes all of that power into the battery. And I don't need a charge controller to manage, you know, the voltage of the battery, because the BMS does all of that. And I'll show you a quick screenshot of what's going on with the BMS, because I got a Bluetooth module hooked into this BMS so we can see everything that's going on. And so you can see in the screenshot that it's charging at the rate it's charging, and as soon as the voltage gets high enough in the battery, the BMS will just shut off charging current. So these BMSs have charging and discharging through the BMS. So somehow the charging goes one way, the discharging goes another way through this, through the transistors in here, and it can shut the charging off and the discharging separate. So even when it's overcharged, it's not like it's disabled the whole BMS. I can hop on this golf cart in this scenario, hop on this golf cart and just drive it, and it'll discharge even though the charging is shut off. So I'll just unplug this. So the only problem with this solution here is if you're doing like an off-grid setup and you got a BMS and you're just dumping your power from your panels into your battery, when the battery's full, the solar lines do rise to the open circuit voltage on the panels. So, you know, when the charging shuts off, you know, boom, the battery stops taking any power, the voltage on these lines rise. So if you happen to be hooked to the output on the BMS, then all of the things you have connected to this line on the output of the BMS would end up with that open circuit voltage, which on these panels is about 100 and, let's just say 150, I think it's like almost 190 volts. All right, so as you can see on this label here, the solar panels we're using, the maximum power that we can get out of these panels happens at 57.3 volts. That's what that voltage MP stands for, maximum power. And the wattage, 327 watts, only happens at that 57.3 volts. So that's what most of the time charge controllers do, is they look for that maximum power voltage on your panel. That's what's called MPPT, maximum power point tracking, and it will track that voltage and try to keep the panel at that voltage at all points of the day so you can get the most power out of it. And so on our 3 panels that we were seriesing at 197 volts and then dipping the whole thing down to a 72 volt pack, it wasn't the most efficient. It's not the most efficient way to use those 3 panels. It's almost 900 watts. In fact, it is 900 watts
almost a kilowatt of solar on that cart we were charging with, and we were really only getting like at the most 500 watts out of those panels, so half their efficiency, but we're charging a pretty small battery, so I only got to charge it for a couple hours, and so it just wasn't a big issue to me. But even if I seriesed 2 of those panels, I probably would get the same wattage or close to the same wattage out of those panels than we were getting out of the 3. And so I figured I'd share that with you. If you can keep that voltage as close to that maximum power point, then you'll get a little bit more out of the solar panel charging that way, or just use a solar charge controller if that's what you like to do. Sometimes it's not always ideal or not always even possible on the higher voltage end, but anyways, hope that helps. Please subscribe and like. It helps out a lot. Be safe out there.